welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video I've got a very exciting video. It's actually, as you can see next to me, a bag related video. Now this is actually one of the latest bag acquisitions in my collection, and it is none other than the TOTEME Belted Bucket Bag. I did post when I got this bag over on Instagram on my stories. I also posted a little video over on TikTok, and I did get quite a few of you asking me to film a review video here on YouTube. Now I thought the best thing would actually be to incorporate a little bit of a what's in my bag video, because I've actually been using this bag almost as sort of a daily bag. I haven't had this bag for very long in my collection just yet. I've only had it for just over a week, but already I've been able to wear this quite often and notice any pros and cons that I think would be important to consider before purchasing this bag. I especially wanted to film this video because when I was looking for reviews on this bag, I noticed that there weren't actually that many here on YouTube or even on TikTok. I think I found around 2 videos, so I thought it would just be really nice, especially because I've recently been seeing these bags selling out. So I feel like there might be a handful of people who want to see thoughts on this bag and an in-depth review. If you do want to stay up to date when I add new pieces like this to my collection, then I will leave my Instagram and my TikTok on the screen now, because that's where I usually post it first. I do just find it quicker to get my phone and snap a quick video. Other than that, I do just want to get on into this video because this bag has really been an exciting acquisition of mine. Starting off, as you can probably tell, I decided to opt for the croc detailed bag in the dark chocolate brown. This bag also does come in a smooth black leather and also a smooth dark brown leather. However, I will say I don't think the dark brown looks as rich as this version, but I do think that's because it has the croc effect to really bring out the color. But I would say that the croc is one of my favorite things about this bag. Again, it's a croc effect, so it's not real croc, meaning the effect has been imprinted into the real leather, so you're not buying a non-leather bag. Something that might interest quite a few of you is the fact that it does have feet, and I'll get onto that in a second. I just thought it would be interesting to show you what I currently have in the bag, and then I'll also be doing the usual things that people ask me, like does a laptop fit in here? I will get my laptop and see how it fits and if it's practical to carry in here, in case you're considering this as a work bag. Already from the get-go, I can tell you for a fact this bag is not necessarily the most practical as a work bag, just because you're not really able to close it at the top. So if you're carrying this on a day-to-day basis, you might not find that the most practical, especially with something like a laptop. Also, this bag can get quite heavy once you start adding things like that, but we'll get onto that in a second. I'm going to start off by unpicking the actual belt at the front. That's what allows you to expand the bag. This is the side once you've expanded it, versus when you actually do that, it cinches it in. Like I said, it doesn't have a zip, but it does have this buckle or this sort of like metal closure in gold hardware. It creates this really nice, elegant and effortless sort of cinch, and also it makes it a much more secure bag. When I have this under my shoulders, for example, especially once I have the buckle, you cannot really get into it, so if someone tried to put their hand in, it will get caught on the actual clasp. And so unless your bag is overflowing from the top, where, you know, the things at the top are more easily accessible, I don't think it's an easy pickpocketing bag. You definitely need 2 hands to unpick it. The easiest way to actually do it is to push the leather in like this. The first thing I actually have in here matches the bag really well, but it wasn't actually intentional. I used this bag yesterday and I was getting ready on the go because I had somewhere to go. So this is actually my Smithson of Bond Street, similar croc, and it's also in this dark chocolate brown. It's actually a jewelry, well, it's actually a cufflink box, but when I purchased this, it was advertised as a jewelry box on the Net-a-Porter site. But in here, I don't know if I can flip it completely, but I just have my additional pairs of things like earrings. So if I'm getting ready on the go and I can't decide whilst I'm at home which earrings and stuff I want to go for, I just take this whole thing. It's quite portable and there's quite a few that fit in here. You can tell that I'm into dark chocolate brown and into this croc effect. I think especially where my style is quite minimal, I do like to add different textures, and I'm really having fun with it now, more than I have ever done before. The next thing I have is actually my key pouch. This is, I'm not sure if you can buy this, but I will try and see if you can. This arrived with a Pelen order that I had a while back. They sent it as a gift. It's called the leather envelope. Maybe it is something that you can buy on the website, but I just keep my keys in here. It not only protects the interiors of my bags, but secondly, I can transfer it between all my bags so that I don't ever forget my keys. And on top of that, I can find my keys easier. So when I'm at the door, I don't have to rattle in my bag trying to find my keys. The next thing I have in here is my card holder. Try not to get any of my info, but yeah, this is just my card holder where I keep all of my cards. I also have some euros in here because I always used to be between London and the south of France and Monaco, and so I would always use my euros. Nowadays I'm more between London and Paris, so it still comes in handy. If you are someone who uses longer wallets, it definitely will fit in this bag and you'll still have space for a lot of things. The second to last thing I have in my bag is actually a hairbrush. This is the one from Universal Bully, and it just has my name on the back. And then I have lastly a makeup bag in here. I usually don't carry makeup with me. This is simply just because I used this bag yesterday and this is what I had in here. This is actually one from Long Jeans. I got it at an event with Long Jeans and I still just use it. In here I just have my usual makeup pieces, which I guess I can just quickly go through. The things that I usually use as a base, especially in the winter time, I opt for things that bring out the glow. This is the Victoria Beckham by Agustinus Bader Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. I will do a proper makeup routine video where I'll also be answering your most asked questions. I tried to film that video, but the lighting in the room that I filmed it in was quite bad, and so it didn't really show the makeup being applied, and so I thought there's no point of me uploading this, so I will refilm that video and I'll share with you my entire makeup routine. I have my Chantecaille Radiance Gel Bronzer. I'm fully aware that this video is not about my makeup bag, but I just thought it would be interesting to show what I usually carry. Under my eyes, I usually use either Clé de Peau Correcting Cream Veil, my Hourglass Concealer in Maple, and then I also have my other concealer, which is the Giorgio Armani Beauty Luminous Silk Concealer in the shade 8.75, portable brush, this blush from Merit in the shade Postmodern. One of the things that I do with makeup is I start with cream and then I finish with powder to set everything in place. I've got the Dior Rouge blush in 621, sort of NARS Taos blush. Again, I'm kind of trying to go quickly through this. My bronzer, I use the Pat McGrath Labs. I use this all the time. Laneige lip mask in here. I've also got my Tide to Go pen, which is revolutionary. And then I've got a black Sharpie in case I ever needed it. I've also got some bobby pins down there. Now it's fully empty. I can show you the actual interior. Inside of the bag is pretty much how most of the Toteme bags are structured, which is usually one large compartment and then the bit at the back, which has those. It's kind of like a card holder slot, but they are made quite relaxed so that you can easily fit a lip gloss. I can actually put it there and it will stay. And then the actual inside of the bag is a lighter beige suede, similar to all of their bags like the Toteme T-Lock or the Toteme T-Lock Clutch. Now that the bag is empty as well, I can also test out to see if my laptop fits. I haven't actually tested it out before, but another question I often get with bags when I'm reviewing them is if they are heavy empty. This one is not. It's a very light bag compared to my suede bags that already have some weight to them even before I put things inside. This is a very lightweight bag. However, I do think that gives the illusion that you're going to want to fit your whole life into this bag. However, you're probably not going to want to because of the strap, which is actually one of the reasons why I went for the croc version over the smooth leather ones, because I haven't seen that many people talk about it. When I did find videos about it, there was only one mention of it, and it was from a creator on TikTok who actually had purchased both the croc version and the smooth version. So if you want to see a comparison, I will leave that TikTok video that I saw linked down below so that you guys can go and see it. But basically the sides of this are what sort of manage the shape. This bit on the side is what gives it that nice sort of trapeze shape and makes it look very nice and chic. However, even on some videos that I've seen online where people have gone in store and looked at this bag, the sides of it have kind of been like this. I don't know if you can see that, but it can kind of be pushed to the front. You can also push it to the back like this. It just rotates on the belt. The croc version is the only version actually is rigid enough to keep it in the middle, which is personally, appearance-wise, how I prefer it. However, the black version in the smooth leather and then the smooth brown version, they move around quite a bit, so you'll often find that the bag looks kind of different. It's quite a small thing, but for me personally, I do care about how my bags look when I'm wearing them. I probably wouldn't have gotten this bag if it didn't come in this croc effect, just because I have enough smooth leather brown bags, smooth leather black bags. Of course, sometimes I see one and I really love it and I want to get it, but for this bag in particular, I only would have wanted it if it came in this croc. This is a MacBook Pro. I'm not sure the size. I believe it's the 13-inch. You can sort of slot that in. So with the belt undone, it fits very, very easily into your bag. it slightly comes out a little bit at the top, and of course it's important to consider that at this point you're not going to be able to clasp the bag anymore, so you do compromise a little bit on security, and on top of that you're not going to be able to have this closed if in case it's raining. But let's say you were wearing this on a sunny spring day, you'd probably be fine, especially considering this is going to be going under your shoulder. It's actually not that heavy. If this is all you're carrying, it's okay. It's kind of like having a full bag. I wouldn't add anything on top of this though, and I think realistically if you're taking this as a work bag, you probably need more than just your laptop. I'm going to try and see if I can actually clasp this bag. You actually can. The only thing is it has this imbalance. I don't know if you can see, but the bag is now tilted, and that's the issue that happens especially with the smooth leather, where this bit here is supposed to be in the middle to make sure that everything is balanced, whereas if this moves to the front, it means that your shoulder strap is now all the way at the front, which makes it really awkward to carry. So it's just where the weight distribution is not equal. I guess if you were carrying two laptops, one at the front and one at the back, yeah, you could balance it out, but I'm not sure how many people are actually doing that. I'm gonna try and see if I can do it diagonally. It's not bad. It's still a little bit forward on the left hand side. This side is okay. I guess if you can carry it like this, you're kind of good. You definitely can fit an iPad very comfortably in here, and you could probably still clasp. One of the things I found really interesting about this bag is the fact that it does retail for less than the larger TOTEME T-Lock. So you might have seen my video where I compared the larger T-Lock and the TOTEME T-Lock clutch. The T-Lock clutch, I believe, is 840 or 890 pounds. This bag, I believe, is 970 pounds. And then the larger TOTEME T-Lock is 1,100 pounds, or at least starting there, because now they've launched versions with shilling, you know, fur coming out of the front. So it really depends on which version of the bag you get. From what I've seen, the croc of this is the same as the black smooth and the brown smooth. Personally, I would say if for preference, I would go for the croc effect, just because it adds a little bit of something and it just looks that much more chic and elegant in my opinion. I do find that it's harder to see scratches on this than obviously on your smooth leather bags, because it's not center of attention, because you've got this detail running through it. Like I mentioned previously as well, I do think a lot of people will appreciate that this has feet. Many of you may know that I'm not usually into feet on my bag, because I do think it overwhelms it in terms of a hardware perspective. It just makes it have too much hardware. For example, the Savette Pochette doesn't have hardware on the bottom, and I love it, even though lots of people wish that bag had feet. When it comes to smaller bags, I never find myself putting it on rough surfaces. You can put it on a chair or on a seat and you can put it down. However, for this bag, especially with it being a tote bag, sometimes I do put it down on rougher surfaces. I will keep you updated as to my long-term thoughts of this bag. You will see it in my future vlogs, future videos as well. For example, you would have seen I filmed the video where I shared my favorite mid-luxury bag. In that video, I shared the larger TOTEME bag, I shared the TOTEME T-Lock clutch, both the Savette, Dragon Diffusion, you name it, they were all in that video. So I will also be doing videos in the future where I share this bag more often and update you guys, especially because the TOTEME bags that I've had, where it says TOTEME made in Italy, has had a tendency to rub off. I did go into the comment section of one of the only videos on YouTube on this bag. Someone had said that it rubbed off for them. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it did, because it's not embossed into it. I really wish they started to emboss it into their bag. However, I think maybe, I don't know, but it might be done on purpose. I'm not particularly sure, but I do think that the whole point of TOTEME is that kind of very calm and collected elegance that doesn't have to say anything, etc, etc. What many like to call quiet luxury, although I'm not usually one to put terms towards things. It's just, you know, it's a lovely bag, but you don't have to get it because it's categorized as quiet luxury. However, if we were to use terms like that, then I would say that TOTEME would fall under there, and I think maybe it could be on purpose that the logo comes off. It's just my theory, but so that it can kind of confirm that you're not buying a bag simply because it's TOTEME, you're buying it because of the quality. Now, one could argue if the quality was good, that things like that wouldn't happen. I don't know. Maybe it's that kind of confirmation that I'm just buying this bag because I just want a beautiful, well-made croc effect bag. However, I do see how some people, it may bother them that could rub off. If you are someone who resells your bags, yes, things like that do matter, because people who are buying it pre-loved are going to prefer it if it does say the name of the brand, just to double check on its authenticity. So I guess there is that argument, and if you're paying this much, it definitely shouldn't be happening. Maybe that's a little bit of food for thought. Another point I really don't don't want to miss out on is considering the straps again. It's similar to what happened with the bigger Toteme T-lock, where I mentioned that I wouldn't really trust putting a lot of things into that bag and getting it too heavy, considering this is the only thing holding it up. It's not that I don't have trust in the craftsmanship, it's just I wouldn't trust any of my bags to carry that much. So I think this bag is not one for anyone who wants to overfill it. If I really want a hard wearing large bag that fits a lot of things, I either go for my Massimo Dutti suede bag if I'm going for a more fashionable style, even though that bag gets very heavy, it looks good, or my styling yacht bag, which is very, very simple, very minimal, fits everything. I always carry it when I'm going on the plane. It's just so simple, low maintenance, and I don't have to worry about it. I think that's pretty much everything I have to say about this bag so far. Like I mentioned, I've only just recently got it, so I can't give you extended opinions. I can only tell you what I've experienced so far with the bag. If you do want to know anything specific about this bag that I haven't mentioned in this video, definitely leave a comment down below and I will get to it. I would be very interested to hear your thoughts on this bag. I know so many of you are considering this bag. As of right now, I would say it's worth it, just considering the fact that I actually prefer this bag over the larger Toteme T-lock. That bag did also have to grow on me for quite some time, but the biggest pros this bag has over the larger Toteme T-lock is the fact that you can wear this on your shoulder. The opening is far better, so on the T-lock obviously it has that flap which interferes with this, and also it fits a laptop, which that T-lock would never be able to do. And considering the T-lock goes for more than this bag, I do think this is a little bit of a better option. However, I do think it comes down to what you're going to use it for. And just like that, we've come to the very end of this week's video. Like I said, if you've got any questions, do let me know in the comment section and I'll be sure to get to them. And if you want any more specific videos, do let me know. But with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this week's video and I hope to see you guys very, very soon in my next one.